So, Christie, you want to talk about how you arrived in this area?
Well, you have to go back to 1939.
Okay.
Born in Keene. That after, probably 2 or 3 days later, I was in Antrim.
Okay.
We lived in where Arthur Breyer's house, right there on the corner.
Of Greg Lake Road?
Yeah.
Okay.
My father worked for Coy and Pratt at the time, and Mr. Coy owned the house, so we rented it from him.
Okay. Now, how did your parents come to Antrim? What was the draw? Were there families from this area?
My grandmother was a Kiblin, and they were in Stoddard.
Okay.
And they moved up to the end of Salmon Brook Road.
Mm-hmm.
And they had the farm up there, which is now woods. And the farm, the cellar hole is still there, but the house is gone.
Okay.
And then the Ellinwoods, as far as I understand, were rock masons, and they came up from Amherst, and they worked on all the stone walls from Amherst all the way up through the Second New Hampshire Turnpike. And then the Donovan place where the Robin Hill now,
Yep.
that was the Ellinwood farm, the Ellinwood place back then. And I guess that's how they met. And although I was reading in some papers that they got married in Massachusetts, so for some reason, but anyhow.
Yeah, I read they were married in Lowell, I think.
Yeah.
That's what I found out.
Yeah. But they, at some point back in the early 1900s, they abandoned the farm, took the doors, windows, and moved to town. And they lived downtown. I think it was in the brick house on the corner of Main Street and West Street.
Okay, the
And
old
then-
schoolhouse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then Mary Ellinwood bought the house, which is, I just gave her pictures of the old, was an old schoolhouse that was moved on the corner of Wallace and Elm Street.
Mm-hmm.
And my two brothers had it moved down, and then they built the house next door with a shared shed behind it. When Mary died, she left the house to my grandmother. She lived there until she was in her 80s. Then she lived with my aunt down in Concord. But my father and mother have always lived in Antrim.
So it was your grandmother, Jenny, that made this happen, right?
Right.
Or you come into
Basically.
And how did that come about?
She was a Kiblin, then she was married to Scott Ellinwood. And then when he died, she married a Newhall. That's how she got to be Newhall.
Okay. And she had a boarder, right?
Yep. Holland Sweat.
Mm-hmm.
He boarded, well, forever that I knew about anyway. I don't know what year. When his wife died, kind of a strange story, but he had his vault put in. His is down here on the back side, on the south side. And he had his vault put in so when he went that he'd be ready. But in the meantime, when they put it in, he climbed down and laid down in it and had my aunt take a picture of him. And I don't think my grandmother forgave him for that. She wasn't too happy over that, but anyhow. But my grandmother had another son beside my father named James, and he married a girl, Alice Finity. And when James died, then Howell's son, Carl Sweat, married her, so it's sort of just a family go-around, you know.
Yeah.
You turn around, you find your cousin behind you, your uncle on the other side, your grandfather behind you.
No, that wasn't unusual back then by any means.
So, but then when I graduated in '57, I wasn't 18, so I couldn't get a construction job. So Howell was working down here at the cemetery, and we used to work out of that shed across the street, which we'd probably all be dead by now trying to bring the equipment across in today's traffic pattern. But Ross Roberts, who lived up here in the corner, he was I'm not sure what his title was, but he did all the paperwork and issued the checks, and we basically worked for him. And we would walk from my grandmother's house on Elm Street down here to go to work, walk back for lunch, and come back in the afternoon. So we did a lot of walking. And this back then, because it was all push mowers, I still have a mower in here that's about that wide with one wheel that you put up against. It's supposed to be a trimmer. So you put up one side up against the stone or the foundations, and then it didn't work very well.
So that's how you got your start here.
That's how I got my start.
So according to Cochrane's history, Maplewood came about because of Josiah Christie and Morse Christie riding by one day and
Right.
saw this as a sheep field and thought that would be a great cemetery.
Right.
And so they went up and saw Mark and Levi Woodbury, and they came down and they decided they'd buy it, and they did, and sold the lots. And so Christie was almost one of the first ones buried here.
Right.
He was the second one, right? The next spring. So Charles McKean was the first one. Josiah Christie was the next one. So maybe we'll just take us over to a couple of those graves, Christie graves,
Yep.
and we'll go from
that.
there. Take a look
Yep.
at those, and
Yep.
we'll move on.
That. What actually, I guess by the looks, going back and checking all this and checking the maps, what they did, that center road was the beginning of the cemetery. They went from front to back and forth across the road with the numbers on the lots.
Okay.
And then the south side, according to the deeds that I found when they first started making them out and selling this area, it was the Christie Annex.
Okay.
And the fourth section over here, all the way to the end of the cemetery, is known as the Good Old Annex.
Okay. So there's the Christie Annex is this side of the road,
Right.
the south side of the center road?
Just right to where that stump is.
Oh, okay.
The two sections in the middle are always referred to as Maplewood Cemetery in all the deeds.
Oh, okay.
This is referred to as the Christie Annex,
Oh, all right.
which I never really did get to ask my grandmother, but I assumed that my father's name came from, our first name was Christie,
Oh, okay.
and I'm a junior, so I
Yep.
assumed that's where it came from, but never did find out. It was too late now.
Too late, yep.
And I know who Governor Goodall is, but why did they name the other section Goodall section?
Because of the money that they left. We'll name a section, and as soon as we get your check.
So why don't we head over to one of those graves, the Christie grave, or
Okay.
we'll walk over there and we'll go from there. And we'll maybe talk about the water fountain. Remember where
That is, I believe, I think Ben probably know more than I, but I think it's right behind where those cars are parked.
Okay.
Right in that section. They said there was a well there. But
Okay.
it was long gone by the time I could remember.
All right. Okay. So you think there was a well over here? Is that what you
I believe somewhere, right? Right in this area here, I think there's sort of dips down in that area.
Oh,
I
okay.
think from what stories I've heard, that would be the only place that would have a well.
Now that building across the street doesn't belong to the Cemetery Association anymore?
Not anymore.
It stays with the property there?
Sold that whoever bought, I forget, I think it was a guy that was working here at the time that sold the place to him.
But that's where you used to work
That's
out
where
of
we
originally,
started,
huh?
Yep, yep.
Do you remember what year the garage was put in?
No, maybe before my time.
No, I'm sorry, this garage here, the one you're working out of now.
Oh, this was in, well, when I was in the service, I think in the 60s, early 60s, 61, 62, something like that.
Did that come into the cemetery? Did that come
It
into
looks like it's been there. It's been sitting out here. I will keep this road closed because it's, you come down here with a truck and you just barely get through because of the size of the trees now growing on both sides, and there's really not much activity, so there's no sense in ruining the road. And if you want to get here, you walk here.
You good? Yeah.
This is the mark here.
You can see the Christie lot right there.
Is he looking for McKean?
I found the wood road.
Oh my goodness. What are we doing?
Trying to find McKean. The McKean lot. Great. I think this is it. This is it? It says McKean too.
So just down over the hill, just a little bit from here is the tomb.
Yep.
And do you know when that was discontinued?
Never been used that I know of.
That since you've been here? In what
As I
year?
said, I think Billy Week, when he worked here, I think they used to cool off. And
Yeah. And I don't. Did we talk about what year you started? It was just after high school.
57.
57. So a couple of years ago.
a few.
Yeah. 60,
Yeah.
63, I guess it is. Yeah. Okay. That's good. So, is there a particular area of Maplewood that's your favorite?
No, the whole,
Like,
the whole cemetery is
yeah.
a peaceful resort for me.
Is it? Yeah.
A lot of people don't like to. I had a friend that I worked for in Sylvania. He would drive by and stop across the road and toot, but he would not come into the cemetery if he wanted to talk to me.
So we talked a little bit about the fountain back was installed in 1877, and then it was removed in 1947. The dam, according to Cochrane, was built around 1897, and then G.H. Coy rebuilt it in the early 1900s. And then the north wall of the cemetery was done by Coy and Pratt back in 36. What about the rest of the walls? Do you know the history of the rest of the walls?
No, I don't know whether Ben has any.
Do you know, Ben?
I have no information. It would have been right around 1862.
They would have been put up around that same time?
I assume so.
Yeah.
But
I
who the
couldn't-
people? I would guess probably back in those days that it might have been to some extent volunteer labor, but the workmanship is very good. So I assume that they did have at least some professional people in charge of that stonework.
Noticed in the history, they have a picture in front of them, and they had an iron gate at this entrance, but it doesn't really show what's on either side of it as far as, I mean, on top of that wall, you've got 2,000-pound granite slabs, so somebody had to have some equipment. I mean, it was probably block and tackle, but they didn't have any motorized equipment when they built it. Now, if you get in the door, in the walkway, driveway there, and look south, the wall looks like a snake.
Oh, yeah.
It's really moved quite a bit. If you look north, it's about as straight as an arrow on this side. But because it's so, I believe it's because it's so high, and it's really the stones that are setting on, you can feel the vibration when the tractor trailers go by between that and the frost, and
Yeah.
it's luckily it's still there.
There was mention of water storage tanks. Are they still here, still in use? Or?
They were right up on top of the hill.
Okay.
There was a pump house down at the pond, electricity down at the pond, the only electricity we ever had. There was a couple of poles going down, and they would pump the water up on top of the hill, which made it almost as far to walk up there to get the water. It would just go to the pond and get the water. So eventually they disappeared because nobody used it. They had 2 barrels sitting up there that they would pump the water in. And I think that had to have been back in the mid-60s.
How big were the barrels?
Just regular 55-gallon
Oh, okay. Small.
steel barrels. Yeah.
What was the main purpose? Was it for the
Just
flowers? Or
water access.
just to have water in general?
Water for people that, like some of the cemeteries, like up in Bradford, they have a water system throughout the cemetery. We've never had one here. They always had the pond that people could go out and get water for their flowers or whatever. Then there was a little dugout on the other side, on the north side, which was just the drainage from underground. But basically the pond is where people would get their water.
So this section that we're in right now is called the Maplewood Cemetery.
According to the deed, it just refers to it as Maplewood. This section and this section are referred to as Maplewood Cemetery. From that road south around the hill is referred to as the Christie Annex.
Okay. And then beyond,
The next section on the other side of the next road, all the way to the end of the cemetery, is referred to as the Doodle Annex.
is there a particular part of the cemetery that you enjoy working on, or is there a part that you don't enjoy because of the way it's laid out or its conditions? Or
No, some of it's challenging, but it's all. You gotta have a challenge once in
Yeah.
a while. You know? Can't have all flat; it gets boring.
you have any interesting stories of things that happened to you while you've been working here over those years?
I think I wrote something down,
Okay.
so I wouldn't forget it, but I can't remember. So I told you about Hal and his.
Mm-hmm.
We did have back in the early '60s. Claire Bill he was a nephew of the company.
Okay.
He lived up on Highland Avenue. Then Len Lovren, he lived up on West Street. He had a little old pickup truck, and the biggest exciting thing that ever happened there was he had a diamond plate put in the bed of the truck. I couldn't wear it all out, but other than that, then the other, Phil Woodbury, his father's lot was at the top of the hill. And back when his father passed, they put a child's vault in the ground with a standpipe that comes up to the top of the ground with a cover. So when you, it's one of the Woodbury, I think we've got at least 6 cremations in that vault. Dig off the sod, take off the cover, and lower another urn down into the vault. The only trouble is you could hear it splash when it got to it. It was not a waterproof situation.
No. And when was that put in?
I think it was in the mid to late '60s,
Kidding.
something like that. Might have even been early '70s.
And that's the only one like it here?
That's the only one. Yeah.
And that was something that Woodbury devised? It was his idea?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. Nobody else ever did anything like that. But they just over the years now it's changed, so we're doing probably 90 to 95% cremations. Maybe one full burial. I think I had 2 full burials this year. I had none last year.
Really?
We had one come in from Ohio, and then Robin Rockwell's wife will be this year.
Do you have any idea how many people are buried here? No?
All of them.
I didn't say that. Come on now.
Yes, I think the last time I counted it around 2,200.
2,200? Yeah.
What capacity do you think you're at?
Well, I got cremations, you can go forever, basically. A lot of families are using family lots, and some of them are putting the ashes on top of previous full burials. It could go on forever, but that field above us, we own that too, so that's a step somewhere along the way. Right now, we probably got the next to last section on the north end. We probably got 30 or 40 lots left. And basically nothing left on this east areas here, other than using a family zoning.
Now, other than Governor Goodall, are you familiar with anybody of any importance that's been buried here over the years? Besides veterans.
I haven't been buried yet. So, Og Mandino.
Oh, that's right. He's over in the new section.
Yeah, and then
Mary McGurk.
Mary,
Mary.
yes, she was, I think she was a summer resident of
Yep.
Gray Lake, and I think she worked for the Washington Post.
I did some research before this interview, and some of you may or may not know this. We came across a name in the lots, the paper with the lots and all the, and there was a gentleman by the name of George Lee who was murdered back in 1905, and so I thought that was kind of interesting. So I did some research, and I found several newspaper articles, both in the Antrim Reporter and the transcript in the Hillsborough Messenger. They thought he was killed up, would have been across from the Chauncey farm at Smith and Bridle Road, up on the east side of Meeting House Hill. The McGilvin farm was up there at the time, and he was known as a woodcutter. And they found him a few days after he'd gone missing. The selectmen found him, and this was in August, I believe, '05. And about December of '05, the Antrim Reporter reported that his real name was Arthur Fulton out of Lansdale, Pennsylvania. And that's about as far as I've gotten so far. I can't find anything about Fultons in Lansdale. But he's buried in lot 263 here. Do you know if...
It's in the next section over, all the way at the end. It's a town of Antrim lot.
Okay, so there's no headstone or...
There's no headstone
They
for
just
him.
buried there.
There's a headstone for other people in that lot.
Okay.
Antrim there's a couple of rows of lots over there. 229 has probably, I think it's close to 30 or 40 single graves.
Okay. Pauper's graves?
Yeah.
Basically. Okay. That's not something we still deal with nowadays, is it?
Not, I don't think I've ever witnessed anything on that.
Haven't been anything for a long time.
So what is your favorite memory from working here, Christie, in all those years?
Just being able to do it.
You just enjoy it that much? Yeah.
Just
You
working
miss it?
with Howard Humphrey, isn't it?
Yeah, right.
Do you miss it in the wintertime?
Oh, I come over once in a while,
Do you? Yeah.
do the roof,
Oh, that's true.
clean off the roof. Mice used to come over, go snowshoeing or cross country skiing on the field over there. So. I've always done this as a part-time job. Even when I worked in Sylvania, the only time I didn't do it I was in the service. I was 11 years. So. Then I was real glad when I retired. I had a place to go to keep busy. Give me something to do.
Do you have any other stories or you'd like to share with us, or some great gravestones or headstones? Take a look at.
You want to look at the grill,
Sure.
and then you had that other, what is this? Hand check?
Oh yeah, hand shot. Yeah.
Hand check.
Was another thing that I looked at. There's a gentleman by the name of
It was George.
George Hanchet's buried here. His daughter's buried here. He was from New York City, but she was from California when she died. So I guess they used to come to Gregg Lake area to summer, so they were buried here. And he was the designer and installer of the first third rail system of the Baltimore-Ohio Tunnel in Baltimore. and he was also the inventor of the direct reading ohm meter that's used on utility poles. That was something that I found in the Reporter back in late 40s, I guess it was. So just trying to find people that are of interest here.
I think there was part of the family who lived in the house below Bob Flanders.
Oh, really?
Place up in Clinton.
Oh,
Across
okay.
from the Flint farm, or the
Down from the Bass Farm?
Bass farm,
Yep.
on that dirt road that goes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I hadn't heard the name before, and he and
Yeah,
Chet.
I think he had an old car or something. That's how I heard the name. That he had lived on. He was living there for 7 years.
Joan.
Well, let's take a look and see Governor Biddle's grave.
That's the tomb.
Okay, yep.
But I tried to open it this morning, but the lock wouldn't open.
No,
But it's, the front of it's probably 20 feet across. When you get in there, it's only about 3 feet, just big enough for an old-time casket.
Okay.
He slipped in there.
Doesn't smell or anything, does it?
It's never been used, he said.
It's over your bar.
it's like walking on carpet, isn't it?
Yeah, really.
Step down, folks.
My brother worked here one summer for Peanut, and he went back to college and he wrote an English paper on are we entitled to or for a plot of land forever. It inspired him.
She was the umbilical cord.
So that's Governor Biddle's grave. His whole plot here.
He got, I think there was 4 lots. Goes back, there's some of his I think Claire Goodall is on the back side.
You said Claire worked here?
Claire worked here. He was a nephew. And I was just thinking, I was talking about the tomb here when my grandmother passed. It was in the, we just got snow. It was the end of November. And she'd always said she died in the winter. She did. Because I wasn't in charge of the cemetery then, so I had to get all the trustees together. My son and I dug the grave. And he said we just have the vault truck come in, put in the vault, and they'd bring the casket in, put it in, there'd be no people. That started my 4 or 5 year career in digging graves.
So you dug that one by hand?
We dug that one by hand. I dug for about 4 years. So I smartened up and had somebody come in the back door and do it.
What years were those?
Back in the 90s.
What, I'm sorry?
Back in the 90s.
90s, okay.
Then we smartened up and got a backhoe to come in and do it. Awful lot of spoonfuls when you start doing it with a shovel.
Whenever you're in a cemetery, you always have to ask about hauntings. Have you ever come across any hauntings?
No. Humphrey used to say there were, but just a deer coming through at night.
Gentlemen, do you have anything that you'd like to add? Cemetery committee, association people?
When I came on, I took over the books from Marty Nichols, and I've been working for Christie ever since. It's amazing how quickly the time goes past since that occurred. But I always marvel over the stories, and you know, you have to scratch the surface on some of the stories of graves being moved and people being moved and so forth. But it's just such a beautiful sight, and everybody acknowledges how pretty a cemetery this is. And Christie's done such great work on it. I know that because Glenn Cook keeps an eye on him when he's working. So we appreciate all you do, for sure.
Yeah, I noticed, I was telling Christy a few weeks ago when I saw him that I was here Memorial Day doing some stuff, and I guess you had your surgery or whatever you'd had this spring, so you had some other people working here, and I could tell the difference.
Yeah.
I miss Christy, as you know, the grass was a little higher than it normally is, and so
Yeah, we
definitely
face that.
appreciate
Ben's our president, of course, but we face that decision as we all age, and Christie's gone through some medical challenges, and so we looked around for somebody that would not only do the job but show the respect for the cemetery and the stones and so forth. And you really have to find somebody that appreciates that. It's not just a job. So, and that's something we'll all have to face as we go on. We can't do all the work ourselves.
How long does it take you to actually take care of this cemetery one time over?
Basically, it's continuous. Takes all summer.
It's all summer. It just never
By
stops.
the time you get from one side to the other, it's time to start where you started, if not before, depending on the weather, of course.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you're underpaid.
Well, I set my own rate, so it's my fault.
When you have to hire a commercial operation to maintain a cemetery like this is very expensive. The town of Greenfield, for instance, spends $40,000 to $45,000, $50,000 a year because you have so many cemeteries in Greenfield. But it's a tremendous expense to keep them to the quality level that we all expect.
Right.
You want that inch?
Sure.
One of these two.
Yeah, I had come across the article about the daughter, Dorothy Van Heusen. She was a teacher. She died, I think it was at 52. She was a math whiz. And he died, her father, George, he died at 47. So they were dying really young in their family. Yeah, 1919, yeah. Ben, you have something you'd like to add today?
Well, I was just remembering back when I was a boy, the Memorial Day parade always ended here. And they would have the firing squad And then the Antrim school children that were in the school were part of the parade, and the public would stand between the road and the wall, and then down in the lower area where we started a few minutes ago, the school would put on, each grade would have a presentation, and the one I remember, I had memorized the Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, and I was 11 years old, and I recited that as part of that. That would have been 1944.
Wow.
I
You
was
want to do that
glad
for us
I was-
today?
I can't do it today.
Well, Bill, even when we were young, your mother would line us all up.
Oh, yeah, we came all the way
march us
down.
all the way
Yep,
down here for
we did.
Memorial Day.
We came all the way
Never
down.
done that.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Now, who puts the flags out every Memorial Day? The
Boy Scouts.
the Boy Scouts do
The
that?
Legion purchased them, and the Boy Scouts put them out.
Oh, okay. There's one area that I'm curious about, which is that those 3 stones there in the new section. The
Memorial. Right?
yeah, memorial, the fire department, and I'm not sure what else is in there. When did that come about? Do you know?
I think that also was in the 60s.
It was? Okay.
I forgot what I read about it. I think it's in one of the town books there that they talked about setting that lot up.
Oh, okay.
Parade and I noticed in that parades and promenades,
Yep.
whatever it is, I think that's what they talked about this lot here. I was thinking that I don't remember mowing it back in the 50s. But evidently when I looked at the deeds, the first deed was to a lot over there was sold in the 40s. So I think that was purchased back in 36
Oh, okay.
and added to the cemetery. But they were using it in they didn't start selling at the front of the lot, front of the section. They just picked random lots. They laid it all out.
Oh, okay.
And some of the maps have dates of 1939, 1938 on them. I'm not sure if that's a reference date or what the date means, but they were using it. But I think they're a Norway maple tree. And in that book it says that someday they'll rival the trees over here, which will never happen.
No.
These trees will be gone long before these will still be here when those they've outlawed those trees.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't, what they do is the limbs grow out and then they split. And then they're not a very sturdy, they won't get in. I don't think by the way they're growing, they won't get any taller. They're more of a decorative tree than natural maple trees.
They are pretty in the fall.
Oh yeah. And they're the last to ever turn.
Yeah.
This year I was watching these trees, and it's like on a Friday I could see that the hint of color was coming into these trees. And the next week, by Wednesday, they had all turned color. And a woman came in and she was taking pictures, and I think she probably the only one to get any pictures of the cemetery this year. But by the next Friday, they were all on the ground. It was just a weird, dry, I think because of the dry conditions and some of the cold weather, it just happened she showed up.
What about the pond?
We talked a little bit about the pond. That's a natural, it was spring fed, right? That pond is?
Yeah, I'm not sure where the spring comes from, but it runs down through the land between the shed, the garage, and the field over there. There's always water running down through there. And that seems to be where and it always has water in it. Even this year, with it as dry as it was, there's still water in it.
Always water in it, huh?
There used to be somebody back in the it's the late 50s, put goldfish in the pond. You could stand up on the hill and you could actually, they ended up being bigger. I think they survived a couple winters, but you could stand up on the hill and you could see them swimming down there. Never found out.
Back in the 1930s.
Pardon?
There were goldfish in that pond back in the 1930s.
Oh, yeah. Well, these must have been relatives because I wasn't here.
You ever see wildlife down there? Deer and whatnot?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of deer.
Taking a drink?
Deer, moose. I haven't seen any moose lately, but
No.
they've been, over the years, last few years, they've been here.
Yeah.
How far is it to the river from the edge?
You would ask that. I've always been going to take the time to walk those trails and find
Other
out.
trails out there?
That's part of the McCabe Forest.
Okay.
It's all the way from the street that goes down to the McCabe farm, all the way down to the trailhead, which is down at the garage.
I was looking at a map the other day. There's a loop of the river that comes in fairly close, like right in this back part. It comes right in and goes back out again. So I don't think it'd take you very long to walk to the river.
I probably won't.
Yeah.
You've been here for 60 years and I ain't made it yet. I keep thinking about it, but I don't do it.
Maybe today's the day. Huh?
Yeah, it could be.
I live up the hill, and we had an outbreak of turkeys this year that I've never seen before. Did you have a lot of turkeys in the cemetery this year?
Not a lot, no.
No?
I saw a half a dozen over here one day, and then I came down the back side, and some lady was working on a lot over there. And that's all that black stuff over there. The closer I got, there was probably about 40 turkeys all walking all around. And they came back through here, came across, and haven't seen them since.
We saw them twice a day for about 2 months. Crazy. Didn't know where they were going.
A friend of mine that I went to school with, Kenny Meyer, he lived in Bennington on the Francistown Road. He has about 40 of them every day come in on his. He got 2 or 3 bear, half a dozen deer, and they're only a quarter of a mile out of town. They ain't even out of town, basically. They're all just at the end of the houses.
Anybody have anything they'd like to share?
I just wonder if anybody knew anything about the Child's Monument, or who those people were. Does anyone? I mean, it's quite an ornate thing. I
Yeah.
just wondered if there's a history with that.
Don't know anything about it.
I don't know much about it.
Quite a stone.
I almost think the Childs were, the family, I think, is out of Hillsborough. It's the same like the Jamesons. That's the Jameson monument there. And there was a lot of Jamesons in here from Antrim. I don't know what their relationship is to the area.
Kathy, you have anything? Priscilla?
I don't think so. Very interesting.
Well, if you don't
The Mandino lot was over in the last,
Yeah.
the last section.
Yep.
And Mary McCreary there.
Okay. Well, we could walk over there if you want.
Wanna-
Nice little
He
walk.
has a podium. They actually, he and Betty came in, he was married to Betty Lang,
Mhm.
and they used to come in and I'd see him every once in a while and talk with him. And they were looking for some kind of a stone and for a monument for him. They ended up having the stone shipped in from India,
Oh, wow.
and then Coffers put it together and set it up.
We'll take a walk over there, sure.
Okay. Take care. Who were you asking about this one?
Francine, the last name was Francine. I'm sure I found his grave several years ago,
Oh.
and I can't find it again.
Oh.
Could have been that I was at another cemetery or
You have a
something.
favorite tree? You have a favorite tree? No?
Stretch it right out.
Okay, I didn't want to pick you.
Yeah. I tried to get Ben to talk. I didn't know if he wanted to say anything. Maybe he just wants to talk to
Well, I
us.
was going to ask him. Should you?
Yeah, I mean, he's welcome to say.
Ben, did you want to say anything on camera about your, what you were saying to me about the cemetery and,
Well, this is all.
or is it just private?
Yeah. I brought a copy of the letter.
Did you want to say anything about it, or was it just for me to take?
Well, I'd be interested for people, that's just a copy.
Okay.
But I would like people to be aware, we've got the survival of this cemetery is a private cemetery.
Right.
Questionable at this point.
Right. Sounded like it. Yeah.
We've got a lot of money, but we've got in round numbers, $220,000.
Okay.
Now that sounds like a lot.
Right.
But that, right now, with the low interest rates, doesn't generate enough
Yes.
to run the cemetery.
Right.
And people are not buying lots now.
Okay.
People aren't doing conventional burials, they're doing cremation.
Yes. Right.
So there's
I never
very little
realized this thing
income.
was bought in pieces.
And
Yeah.
one of the major problems we have is the heavy truck traffic that's
Yes.
taking the old wall,
Right.
and we've got one piece there we have to fix now because somebody
We
could
just
get
bought
badly
4.
hurt.
Yes.
And
4 lots.
if we start to dig into that trust fund,
Very next
Right.
to the
that's going to
Flanders.
reduce the income.
Yeah.
And then they're going to have to dig into it harder. And
Right.
in a matter of time
Right.
before the cemetery would have to be turned over to the town.
Uh-huh.
See, that's the only private cemetery in
Yes.
town.
Okay.
So people should be aware of that.
And that's your concern.
Yes, very much. We need more trustees. And we need a new president. I'm no longer active enough to.
You're getting ready to step out?
Yeah.
Oh, there's Mary McGlory.
Break it.
Yeah, Barry's going good.
Who took those flowers over? I didn't recognize it as a pumpkin loader. I know it was there the other day, but I forgot all about it, so I came back down here again to check out where the flowers were.
I don't know if that's his girlfriend is doing that or what.
Yeah, we're not sure.
Who is that?
It's my son's lot, but it's
And his son is
grandson.
grandson Bryson.
And that's my
Yeah.
nephew's name. Remember when there were those 3 kids who were killed? Oh, yeah. It's, that's my sister's boy.
This one here.
Yeah. Di did the, Di, there's a little sleeping city Di designed it. Oh, no, Pine Cone.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What was the last name?
Britson. So there were 3 kids, and they were all killed. The old bus station, Borpla, right there on that road that was 11 o'clock at night or something. You know, with those stupid guys.
Right.
Oh, that is sweet.
And that's is a picture from what we call the Rockamore Field, based on the Rockamore property. And that was Darren's dad, the white dad.
So who's this?
Darren's son. Darren's son, that last one. He was 25, he was 26. But since the girlfriend lives, these things are
It's dear. Whatever. Yeah.
Had some friends come up and we met them in Florida, and they were from the Midwest. And we had them come up and visit one time. That was the highlights of his trip, going around looking at the rocks. Took them up to watch the Antrim, and we got one up there.
These is in Norway maples.
Somebody lived under at one point.
Really like that tree.
Couldn't get over all the rocks.
You realize that I remember when we used to all Maplewood Hill. The north was a stone wall in the north. I kid you not. It was 10 feet wide, 15 feet high, and perfectly square. They must have spent Sunday afternoon building that
I think he
thing.
said what he wanted to say. He just wants us to have this.
Harley's up there,
And he's worried about the future of the private cemetery.
Yeah.
Did it have a solution?
Yeah, at the time.
Yeah.
Well, unless anybody else has something they'd like to add or share, I want to.
You want to head back that way?
That's
a good
idea.
Pond, you can go by the pond.
Oh,
Or,
there
Absolutely.
you go. Okay.
Getting our steps in today, Christy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Pardon?
We're getting our steps in.
Oh yeah, yeah. I come over here once in a while, just take a walk around,
I bet.
so I can walk somewhere.
Sure.
A lot of people come down.
Did you know Dick McAlpine? No, I didn't know if you knew him. I did. You did a lot of research for this.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of work.
That's nice to know what's going on. You just never know, you know.
Yeah.
Christie's been here a long time.
Yes, he has.
Done a lot of work here.
We owe him a great deal.
We do. It's really amazing. He does such a great job. You go to a lot of cemeteries and, you know, they don't look this good. A lot of them are in such sad shape.
Priscilla, are your folks buried in the cemetery? Right here?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, that's involved.
Down here, they, you know, they're cutting up at North Branch.
Oh, they moved Betsy down from
They
up there?
moved
Okay.
Betsy down here.
Okay. I was wondering.
Oh, Boshin.
They weren't too happy with the situation up there.
No.
Well, that's an entire path.
Well, he was the biggest move was the bench. They cut that off up there. They dropped stuff on the lot and broke things.
Oh, really?
Back up the bag. No, this one here. These are all, this is a cremation section. They're supposed to be all 3x5 lots,
Oh.
3x3 lots. And then other people wanted to do bigger lots so they could have a monument. And nobody was buying the 3x3 lots because they wanted to have stone like the bench and the one over here.
Yeah.
So this family bought 3 lots here. They had a lot in this other section, and it's all supposed to be cremated. But when the grandmother passed away, they had to have a full burial. So she's the only one I know of in the cemetery buried north and south.
Oh, no.
Everybody else is east and west. The lot's not big enough, so we have to do
Interesting.
But we made it happen.
There's a will, there's a way.
Right. Like Graham when she died. I knew she'd come back and haunt me forever. I didn't bring her grave and put her in the ground. So.
Bill, where do you think that river, where it snakes closest?
I think it's more over this
Farther over
way.
there? Oh, okay.
I think if you walk down, you might have looked on the map. That's what it looked like. But I was curious myself
Yeah.
how close it was that one big roof comes in.
Someday I guess I better take that. After 60 years, I don't know what it is.
Now, is the town lot right around here somewhere?
Yeah.
Right up here?
two graves there. And the town owns another lot just above it. Then they own two whole rows up in the top of that area.
Well, up in Bristol, Maine, there was somebody who had himself buried with a telephone. So in case he was buried alive, he could call. Did anybody do that here?
Not that I know of.
Are there any funny sayings like, I told you I was sick? You always hear jokes like that.
No, I haven't seen any.
Everything's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, pretty much.
This must be great soil back here.
But,
The mulch pile.
yeah. I'm not sure what they're going to do with the. If they're going to leave those like that. If they do, I'm going to try to get somebody in here with a brush hog and just sit on top of them, and grind them up.
Right, yeah.
I used to spread them out on this back area, then about 4 or 5 inches, and then I had a 30-inch mower. I'd come over it and mow it, and they would mulch it all down,
Right, yeah.
blow it over the bank, and you wouldn't even know we did anything.
Yeah, it doesn't look like your style.
Because we're getting closer to being in the McCabe Forest, so
Where's the boundary line for that?
it's just about where the tree line is.
Okay.
Behind here. I think back when I first started, we were way up about half of this distance.
Huh?
And over the years, it's just
Accumulated.
when Matt Brissett used to do the digging for me, he'd come over, he dug a spot where that's flat there.
Uh-huh.
And he put the leaves in there. Then he'd take a lot of the graves have sand. You take the sand and mix it in with the mulched up leaves.
Yeah.
And 6 months I had a pile of loam.
Wow.
So it does work,
Yeah.
but we haven't done it since. We don't get that many burials, so
Yeah.
I don't. He used to be here quite often, but I always said that this, if they hadn't made this a cemetery, it would have been a sand pit, because that whole hill is sand.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
This not so much over here. The digging's a lot harder, but that hill, once you take the sod off, you're right into sand. That was one of my grandmother's lot. We got it down pretty deep. It's on a side hill, so one end was almost 9 feet deep on the back side.
Wow.
The front side was only about 5 feet deep. But never went that far after that. Matt always said when he dug it, he never went any higher than his shoulders, so if he fell in, at least somebody see his head above ground. I don't know if they'd come and kick it or what.
So Bob, what's the hardest thing about running a cemetery financially? And
Well, we've been blessed with some very philanthropic people that have left money that's been invested. So, but the biggest challenge is what we face, I think, ahead of us when it becomes so expensive that we can't have our own staff do things. It's been a godsend to have Christie working, but when you hire things out, it could be the maintenance costs could outstrip the assets over time. And then, as Ben has suggested, that if that were to occur, then this would probably become a town cemetery.
kind of like North Branch
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
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 Yeah, they wanted us to take them over before the town
They
did.
did. Yeah.
But we had enough to do with what we got right here. Plus, they still wanted their fingers in it. So,
Yeah.
And I would
thanks,
dare,
but no thanks.
I would dare say though that based on our investments, that we would have quite a few years still to go under the Maplewood Cemetery Association. We're hopeful for that.
Well, the biggest challenge will be that field.
Yeah.
We have to open up that field. I got a quote 20 years ago of 40,000
Really?
to do that whole Kurt Row from Hillsborough.
Yep.
You pay me $5,000 now, whatever, but they didn't want to invest in it, so the last people we had come down and look at it, give us a price. They said, come back with a plan, we'll give you a price. I suspect that we're looking at 100 plus.
What sort of things would have to be done to the field?
It's all full of rock. This lower corner, what they were going to do is go through the whole field, dig out all the rocks and fill in the lower part down here, which would get rid of the rocks, blast them if they had to, but right now you couldn't, just get it ready so you could even start to make roads and do any digging at all. Right now, if you come down here and watch them and listen to them while they're mowing, you'll find out just how many boulders there are there. So.
This is interesting. All these headstones, were those cremations, or are the bodies back up in there?
Some of them were bodies, and some of them, most of these was Don Robinson and his wife, and I think 2 others, a full burial. These were all cremations.
So then these are buried here?
These are buried this way. Okay. That lot, those stones go with that Robertson lot up there. And they've been cremations. I'm afraid the dam leaks a little now. We were going to have it fixed a couple years ago, and then we postponed it to fix the front wall. And so far neither one's been done. But it still holds water, so. We've got a little island that there's a June pink bush on it and a small maple tree. This maple we had to cut down this year because it was getting ready to fall over. It actually grew on top of a rock. So
Wow.
once it got up where it had some leaves, it got too heavy in the top.
Nice pond.
Is E.H. buried in here?
Pardon?
E.H. Edwards?
Yes.
That's not no relation to this Edwards, though.
This Edwards. They lived in Antrim at the foot of Goodall Hill, where Cutter's got his rug place.
Oh, really?
And then he took over the farm up on Pitcher Mountain and raised those Highlanders.
Oh, really? Yeah. Look at that.
I never saw that pond before.
Don't take a nap.
think the family used to live here in Antrim back in the day. I can't even remember. Is that Rothermel?
I think so, something like that.
Yeah, because there's about, yeah, I think that's what it is. I think there's about 8 burials over on that. There's a 2-lot grave site over there. So I think they were here earlier and then moved west.
SMJ, United States Army, is that supposed to be Sergeant Major or something? Judge Advocate? Or?
Yeah, I think so. Probably Sergeant Major.
I've never seen that before. I'm sorry?
Oh, the Sally cousin. John's sister.
The Solar's husband's on the other side. Don's mother and father.
Is it against the law to take off the lichen
No,
so you can scrape graves?
it can be removed. Yeah. They have a cleaner that can do it, but usually they suggest just vinegar and water.
And I heard just a credit card.
Yeah, that's
Scrape it right off.
if you get it.
If
If you get it moist,
yeah.
then
Oh yeah.
then it doesn't do. There's chemicals, but then that does damage to the
Yeah,
stone and
yeah,
the grass and
yeah.
everything else.
That's a nice one.
That monument up there with the metal
Oh yeah.
on the front,
Yeah.
that's a Cochrane lot. I think he's the one that did the Antrim history.
Oh, that Cochrane, yeah, Reverend
Yeah.
Cochrane.
Yeah.
Look at stamp pole too. The grave, the stone cutters, has it always been the Peterborough, the Caulfield people, or have there been others around in the area over the years?
They come in from Keene. There's
Okay.
a couple came from Milford. And I think I've had a couple out of Concord, but 90% of them come out of Peterborough.
Yeah.
That's, I think, the 3rd or 4th generation is going over there now. Because I work, John Koffel is the one that's running it now, and his father, I worked
Hans, yeah.
I worked with him
Yeah.
here when I first started.
Oh, no kidding.
And then John's sons
And now the boys are-
into
yeah,
it, so I
yeah.
guess it's 3rd generation
Huh.
that's running it now. I think John's gonna retire in the next couple of years,
yeah.
or semi-retire.
Right.
One of his sons actually goes out and does the work, and the other one does all the computer work. And
Uh-huh.
his sister works in the office right now. I think his father and mother aren't doing as well. They live in the house right next to
Right.
it. So his sister's living with them, taking care of them.
The family, yeah. There's an Ellinwood up there.
Yep. That's a relation. That's the Kiblin lot is my great-grandfather, and my grandmother is the New Hall Ellinwood lot.
Uh-huh.
I don't know where that brown grass came from. It just crapped up there in the last couple of years.
Pretty stones.
And I got Because their stone was put in years ago. And then I found that one over at Coffles and made it with the colored stone in the
Yeah.
granite
And
base.
the base, yeah.
So it sort of matches.
Yes, looks nice.
My Aunt Doris, when she passed, my grandmother lived with my aunt for years after she left Antrim. She was in her 90s. And my aunt wouldn't put her in a nursing home, she took care of her, and she passed before my grandmother did. So we buried her here. Then I came down, this was back when Humphrey was running the show. I come back down, there's a big hole here. She had traveled. Her husband got kind of mad at the family for doing something like that, or he thought her sister, my other aunt, was going to take care of my grandmother after my Aunt Doris passed, but she said she couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so he bought a lot on the north side and had her move from here, but we didn't tell the family about it, so we found But I've noticed in the old records, if you look back, there was a lot of that back in the day. There's a lot of people that moved from Antrim to started to Antrim, and it didn't seem to be there's quite a few.
Interesting.
That
Anybody have anything?
doesn't
else
happen
they'd like
as
to
much
share
anymore.
today?
So
Yeah.
Eric, Ben, Bob.
Eric has a story. I can tell.
Yeah.
My great aunt buried right up there.
Oh yeah. Well, Christie, thank you for your time.
you're welcome.
For all your hard work here to keep this place looking beautiful.
It's fun.
You're the unsung
You have to
hero.
enjoy it to
Right.
It shows.
do it.
It shows. It really does.
Well,
I'm amazed every day I go by at how much work gets done from the time I leave in the morning and come back. I'm like, how did you do that much work? It's like, you must have a crew that comes in here and does it all.
Yeah, they show up at night and do it all. And
Almost
what,
fast.
2 years ago was the first time I had a rider.
Wow.
It's always been walk behind grave leaves.
No kidding.
Oh yeah. Good exercise,
Yeah,
Plus, you can take those almost anywhere. There's places I wouldn't even take the rider now. But I have the fellow that down the end of Goodall Road there, the little Goodall company there, where the antique place. He tipped his mower over, and we have
right,
him
right.
on the
Carol
other.
Court, yeah.
Yeah,
Her
Court.
husband, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Nice.
Well, it's a labor of love, Christie.
Yeah, it is.
Thanks for coming out, people.
thank you all.
I guess that says
Yeah.
something about Christie.
There you go.
We're here.
And I'm sure there's a lot of other things said too.
That she'll
But I probably
remain
don't want to hear.
Remain unsaid, right.
You've been long enough in Greenfield. I think time to come home.
I'm still. Take the boy out of the town, you can't take the town out of the war.
Go Buckeyes.
See? Doesn't matter what the border is.
Your house all done, Bill? Then?
Pretty much I'm just doing little things here and there, but yeah.
Do you still go to Florida in the winter? Did you used to go to Florida in the winter?
I did. My wife had a place down there. We used to go down.
Oh, okay.
Just moved her back up here, and my son had a place down there east of Sarasota.
Yeah.
So he used to go down and mow in the winter. So I always had a place to mow. Yeah, he had 5 acres down there, so it gave me something to do. Then all of a sudden, 3 years ago, he up and sold it and moved back up here
okay.
again. Because he can't stand the heat. And he's probably wearing shorts today. But So he moved back up here, so we didn't have anybody down there.
right.
So, trying to get somebody to take you back and forth to the airport and all this. So it just,
right.
we got the condo on contract right now.
Uh-huh.
Hopefully be gone by the end of the month. And hopefully this year we'll get snow.
That's what
Not
they're saying.
rain and ice.
Yeah, right.
We want snow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Nice job with that microphone and that cord.
Professional.
Interesting watching.
I think she's going to charge union rates, right?
That's what my son does. He does websites and all this stuff. And
Oh,
Oh,
really?
he does?
He has a business that they go around taking pictures all over the country.
You could have done it today.
Yeah, could have. So he does. They did Pfizer.
Yeah.
They used to go to the islands to take pictures when they had their big conferences.
Oh, no kidding.
He actually was the first one to film in Australia in that
Great
band
big.
shell or whatever.
Great
they
Barrier
got.
Reef?
Yeah, he was the first one that ever went in there to take pictures.
This would be a fascinating life to do that.
First time he was going to be sent overseas. He didn't have his passport. But he hasn't been without it since.
Yeah.
He was really bummed out that time. But
Oh, yes, that.
Yeah, I think we're done.
Thank you.
That was great. Thank you, Christy.
you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Bill, you mentioned the more formal. Yeah,
I did?
I thought you did. I just
Did
didn't know
I?
if you wanted to do that.